Welcome to another episode of Scottish Football Matters with myself, Murray, and my good friend Lorenzo.
Hiya.
This week we're going to discuss the weekend's SPFL fixtures. We're going to discuss the next 5 games for the top three. We'll have a little chat on transfers and then we'll do predictions for the midweek Europa League games for Rangers and Celtic. How's things?
I'm okay. Got annoyed about yesterday, but I'm sure we'll get to that.
Sure, I get that. I suppose the best place to start is we'll go through Saturday's fixtures. I mean, what I would say, it was a very goal heavy weekend. I think best place to start, I suppose, Aberdeen, Livingston. Plenty of goals, plenty of drama. I felt that Aberdeen obviously winning 6-2 is a big
Aye.
scoreline. I don't think it was a 6-2 game. I think they got 2 goals and added on time in the first half and 2 goals and added on time in the second half.
Mhm.
But for me, that was a big sign that I think Livingston are pretty doomed.
Aye, they're finished.
Because when they work really hard to get back into a 2-1 and then capitulate like that, it's not a good sign. What I would say is there's a few incidents I suppose we should talk about. They managed to chop off a Nisbet goal on VAR without lines, which is
hmm
incredible.
Yep.
Um, to me, that's nonsense. You should just be going with the on-field decision then.
hmm
If VAR isn't working and you aren't
Trying to get
able
the
to draw the
lines.
lines,
hmm
then the on-field decision should stand for me,
That's
and
right.
it should have been a goal. So I think that was a complicated one. I won't get into the double sending off because I know there was alleged racism from one of the players to the other one. So I think we'll wait on hearing what comes of that. So you don't want to speak too soon because sometimes these things are what they say and sometimes they're not. So
What I will say
I
is
think
that on the incident, there's black players play for the team that the guy was supposed to be using the racial slur. So I find that really strange as why that would happen and why he would do that.
sometimes people just say things in the heat. And
Probably said it in
but
its
what I would but
context or
what I would
whatever.
say is I think his reaction would suggest that he certainly heard something or misheard something. But
hmm
he certainly but I think what I would say is a great result for Aberdeen because
Yeah.
you know they've been a mess,
Oh,
to
they
be
have been.
honest. But what I would say is one thing I noticed with their starting lineup is they had 7 Scots starting in that game, and that's the first time they've done that in about nearly a decade.
That's good.
Um, so I think that'll get the Aberdeen fans back on side if they can see more Scottish players in their team. Maybe they'll have a bit of more of an identity. But
hmm
all I can say is my takes for the game were Aberdeen looked good and Livingston looked doomed.
Did you think?
Obviously, what's that?
Did you think that David Martindale deserved his red card?
No, I think sometimes you just say things to fourth officials, and I think you can't even say anything to them. I think
I
it's
know.
mental. So, I, honestly, I mean, I think you should be getting red cards if you try to storm on the pitch or you maybe say something completely out of turn. But see if you argue a decision or
hmm
whatever, no, just let him be. Let him be. But obviously, we don't know exactly what he said, but from what he said, it seems very harsh.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
obviously, Dundee United St Mirren got postponed, which was disappointing at
Due to the weather.
SPFL level. But the
Not the
weather
weather,
was
the
bad.
pitch.
Aye. Uh, Motherwell Kilmarnock. I think that was an interesting one because Kilmarnock started the game really well
hmm
and scored a really good goal, and it was what a big toe offside maybe. I mean, it was really close,
Yeah.
but then Kilmarnock shot themselves in the foot. Two stupid yellow cards, and it
hmm
changed the game because I don't think that they go on to lose that game 4-0. But what would worry me if I was a Kilmarnock fan is three of the Motherwell goals, no Kilmarnock players moving or
No.
trying to put in a tackle or a block. They're just standing still.
As if they've chucked
And
it.
and that's a shame, for obviously Neil McCann and Billy Dodds have went in there and they're trying to change things, but either what they're saying isn't working or the players aren't capable of listening.
hmm
But what I would say is that I think Kilmarnock and Livingston look absolutely cut adrift. I don't know who will finish 11th, who will finish 12th, but they look almost certain to be finishing the bottom two.
Mm-hmm.
But good result for Motherwell. Again,
Yep.
I think they've got the joint best defensive record, and they're only 5 points behind Celtic. 7
Mm-hmm.
behind Rangers and 11 behind Hearts. I think if they keep that form up, people might be prematurely counting them out. I don't think they
Aye.
will, but what I'm saying is that they're certainly going to have a big say in the title race.
I think they'll finish in the
And I
top
think,
four anyway. They'll finish in the
and I
top
think,
four.
I think they're miles ahead of Hibs and Falkirk, who are
Mm-hmm.
currently 5th and 6th.
Aye.
On to that game, Hibs Falkirk. I thought Falkirk fully merited it. Probably could have scored more. I mean, the 3 goals that the boy Stewart scores, which are good goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're from a combined 8 yards out. I mean, I think he scores from a yard, 2 yards, and then on the 6 yard line. So I mean, what's
Yep.
that? 9 yards. I mean, that's good goal scoring. Good, like it's good to see poachers' goals,
That's
but
like a poacher. Yeah.
Hibs, Hibs must be terribly disappointed to be losing goals like that, though,
I never
because that
expected
to me
Hibs to
says that
lose that heavily,
I
or to
expect
lose
them
at
to
all, really.
lose.
No, I
Aye,
didn't expect that.
I thought they would lose just because I don't know. I mean, and I think David Gray could. It might be a bit premature, but if he loses, his next game is to Rangers, right? And then I'm fairly sure in his next 3 or 4 games they've got to go to
They've got us as
Tynecastle
well.
and they've got to go to Celtic Park.
Celtic Park.
And if they are not to get results in those games or lose heavily, I wonder if he could be. I don't think he should be, but you see how these things can turn.
You think
And
he's gone?
I think they'll look at Falkirk shouldn't be whipping them. They shouldn't be losing to
No,
Dunfermline, but they are. And then the results can build up
I
to,
know you're right. They've lost to Dunfermline in the cup as well. That was a bit, yeah,
yeah.
shocker.
And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, I just looked at the fixtures and went, that's.
They've got a tough run of fixtures coming up.
I don't see it easy to sort of go. They'll they'll get their way out of it. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
think they're still going to finish probably fifth, sixth, but I don't know. I think Hibs should be looking at Hearts and going, well, why are they so far away? Why are Motherwell so far away? Why
Yeah.
did why did Falkirk just give us an absolute beating? And it
Mm-hmm.
was a beating because I genuinely, I don't want to say beating too much. You might get angry, but no, I think Falkirk could have won by more, which says great things about John McGlynn, but poor things about how maybe easy it is to play against David Gray's team.
Yeah. Although
But
they have made it hard for Celtic this season. Hibs, they've ground
we
it at
have. I mean,
0-0, a 0-0 at
we've only
Celtic Park, great enough. But
and 2-1 there, and we've only
aye.
beaten them 1-0, 1-0. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that probably is an anomaly. But what I'm saying is, the, there doesn't look like any easy games to get the fans on their side. And
Yeah.
as I said, I've seen it with Rangers when you're looking across the city and your rivals are so much better at points in the season. All you can do is look at yourself and go, well, why are we not there? And Hibs will be looking enviously, thinking, well, Hearts aren't that much better. Why are they so far ahead if they're not much better? If the budget's not that much bigger,
They've
you
got
know.
they've got Tony Bloom's analytics, so obviously it's working.
Not just that though, I think, but what I'm on about more is from a Hibs point of view. I mean, Hibs have got a good link with Bournemouth.
I
They've
don't
got.
think Derek McInnes is that great a manager though. I don't.
I think he's far more experienced than David Gray, but
Well, he is
that's not
obviously that's
the point.
obvious.
But what I'm saying is that I do think that this isn't a new thing with Hibs. Hibs, even when they had good managers like Lennon
Oh,
and other
Stubbs.
ones like, aye,
He won the
Stubbs
cup for them,
didn't
didn't he?
aye, but I think I'm more on about in the last few years because I think
Mm-hmm.
Stubbs was really good in the Championship, but when he got into the Premiership, he wasn't good enough.
Well, Lennon done all right
You know,
with him in the Premier League.
Lennon did, and I think Jack Ross did okay for a while, but I think. I don't know. Something just doesn't look right with Hibs. I think they should be better than they are. Like I look at their squad of players and I go, you shouldn't be losing 4-1 to Falkirk,
What I
But
will
if
say
we,
is, I think
Mhm.
Hibs will probably end up getting a new manager probably for next season. I can't see David Gray staying too much longer. But
Yeah, I mean, but I think if we move on to Sunday, I think the best place to start because there's less talking points is Ibrox, just because it was fairly routine. What I would say is that Rangers weren't. I don't want to say 3-0 flattered them, but it kind of did, if you know what I mean.
Oh, well, they got a
Uh,
penalty.
Dundee were never. I mean, it was, but Dundee were never going to score a goal in that game. They didn't. They didn't play in a way that they were going to score goals. They tried to stop Rangers, which, by the way, when you go to Celtic Park and Ibrox and stuff, do what you want. If you think that's the best way to get a
If
point.
you can manage to stop them, then fair enough.
But I think when you look at Rangers and Celtic, though, I don't think you should be going there these days with fear. And I felt that
No.
Dundee played with a lot of fear.
Hmm.
And and the only reason it was 0-0 at half time was because Rangers just a marginal offside, and then just the final ball wasn't quite there. But it was only that game was only going one way because Dundee didn't come out and try and play football.
No.
And once you're so hemmed in, it's very difficult. I felt, obviously, if we talk about the second half, penalty's a penalty. It's very similar. I'm sure you'll remember one that Celtic got like that when Kyogo at Hibs hits a shot and it goes well over the bar and the boy comes right through him. I'm surprised you don't get more penalties like that, because
It's
for
not
me,
consistent enough, Murray. The
no,
penalty
it's
thing
not
is not
consistent. But
consistent.
that is a penalty, and every time it happens, it should be a penalty.
Well,
And
aye, that would help.
you know, but it's a stonewall penalty. If that happens in the middle of the park, right, and the player passes the ball away, then gets cleaned out, fine well it's a free kick.
Hmm.
By the way, I do think the boy's trying his best to block the shot. He's just a bit late.
Yep.
But then I think Dundee didn't do enough to try and get their way back into the game, and obviously the terrible play for the Rangers second goal. They just passed it straight to Danilo, and obviously went in and scored. And then
Hmm.
Gassama scored a good goal. But I think Rangers, it was routine. It was routine without being great. But we've
Yeah.
said that quite a lot about Rangers recently.
Hmm.
But what I would say is, if they're gonna get through, we'll go into the Rangers fixtures in a bit. But Rangers' next 5 fixtures, they're gonna have to play a bit better than they did on Sunday if they're going to come out with maximum points in those games. Because when you
Yeah.
go to Easter Road and you go to Fir Park, you can't play as you can't be 6 out of 10, and that's what I think Rangers were yesterday, but they got away with it. But on to the Hearts Celtic game. I think there's a lot of talking points, but I think what I want to say first about it is it was probably a fair result. I
Mm.
felt that Hearts were the better team by a Hearts were the better team by a big distance for me
Mm.
in terms of
Don't know.
Celtic couldn't string two passes together
I
apart from the
know.
second goal. What I'm
But
saying is, if you look at Celtic, yes, they were 2-1 up. Yes, things went against them late on. We'll get to that, but I think if you just look at the overall game, I thought Celtic were
I don't think Celtic
absolutely
were
they
good,
were
to be honest.
terrible with
No.
the ball.
But
Like, I think that's the worst I've seen them on the ball. Every time the defenders had it was just a boot up the park. It was a clearance. That poor boy up front worked his arse off and he's tried so hard. But if
Chavanchera.
every pass up to him was a clearance.
Mm.
Celtic had no. I mean, Celtic have great footballers. I don't care what anyone
He
says.
was he was
Callum
unlucky. He was
McGregor,
unlucky with his header as well, the boy.
Callum McGregor's a good player. Engels is a good player. Nygren's a good player. Yang and Maeda should be doing better. They did not give that guy any service at all. And honestly, I think that's the
He was the
worst
one
I've
that
seen
turned provider.
Celtic.
He turned provider
I,
for Yang.
I just think that Celtic on the ball over the game, if you look at it, they were terrible. By the way, I thought Hearts were terrible in the first half as well. I thought the first half was one of the worst halves of football you'll see.
Good goal for Nygren.
The-
No, the free kick was a cracker, eh?
yeah, yeah, the free kicks. It's a good free kick. I think I'd expect Gordon to do better though, because I think it's no right in the corner.
No,
It's
it's
a good
no.
free
But
kick though.
he's
Uh,
43, remember?
Yeah, well, don't play him then.
Well, he might not be as agile as he used to be. That's what
That's what I'm
maybe if he
saying. I
was
just think
a younger
I think
guy, he
an
might have
old
been able to
Craig
reach that.
Gordon saves it. Aye.
Uh-huh.
But I do think it's a good free kick. And then I felt Celtic were comfortable in the first
Why are
half.
they playing him? Is Bobby? What's his name again?
I just
The
swallow. I don't know.
Swallow. I'm thinking
Uh,
of Bobby Schlamau. He's not there
But
anymore.
what I would say is I thought Celtic were comfortable without being good until half an hour on the clock. And then half an hour on the clock, Auston Trusty does something stupid. And messes up his feet and
Aye,
puts
and I know,
Kizaridis through on goal, and
but
Schmeichel
Schmeichel
bails
under
him out.
pressure.
But I never felt Celtic regained any control of the match after that point,
Well, what I will say is, I
because I
think
thought they were just.
if the sending off doesn't happen, I
We'll
think
come to that.
we
I
scraped
don't.
the victory. I think we win the
I'm
game.
not sure. I'm not
No,
sure because I think
possibility.
I think that goal was coming because Celtic just kept
I
giving
think
away
we might have scored the
silly,
third one. We might have scored the
needless.
third one.
Out of what though? Celtic
I
weren't
don't
even
know.
attacking. They weren't attacking. They weren't good. The problem is that the thing is Martin
We're not
O'Neill is
being
a
good. We've still
brilliant.
managed to score 2 goals.
Martin O'Neill was a brilliant manager, right? But you're relying on moments by individuals.
Mm.
Celtic aren't creating chance after chance after chance. I don't know what it is. When you go away from home, there's some sort of mental blockage on you right now. You look at that game against Falkirk, utterly terrible. You look at the Tynecastle, you were pretty pish again. But then you look at in between that, you've played, or sorry, not in between, but you've played
Well,
at
Bologna
Dundee
as well,
United.
but
Aye,
I mean, maybe we should have
European
beat
football's
Bologna as
different.
well. I know.
European football's different. But look at your difference in your play against Dundee United, though. You move the ball quicker, you feel comfortable at home. Why is that not happening away from home? And
I
by
don't
the way,
know.
I remember Rangers under Clement going through a very, very similar run where it was like, how can we win 4-0 at home and we can't pick up any wins away? And but what I would say, we'll come on to obviously the second half and how it changed. But what I would say is I thought Celtic were just really naive and like giving away silly free kicks that were soft, right? A lot of the free kicks were soft, but
I
don't give
thought
the referee
I
don't
thought the
give the
referee had
referee
a
an
terrible game though.
yeah, yeah, no, but I think Hearts didn't help him with that. They were falling to the floor really easily, but Celtic gave him decisions to make by
I
being
know.
naive.
I know.
I mean, what is Maeda doing at the equal? Was Dicino give away a free kick at the? Is it Maeda that gives away the free kick towards the end?
I think it is. I think
It
it
is.
is.
What is he doing? What is he
God
playing at?
knows.
The boy wriggles out or something. Just stand up. But
Hmm.
I think the equaliser, Celtic will be disappointed away because it's a simple ball to the back post. I don't know why Kieran Tierney's marking Stuart Finlay. I'm sorry, but Kieran Tierney's a great player, right? But he's not the guy I want to be
No, you should have
defending at
somebody
the
like
back
Trusty
post.
doing that because Trusty's taller.
Defending. I mean, what I'm saying is, if that's a Rangers game against Celtic, right, I'd be buzzing if Manny Fernandez is going up against Kieran Tierney because I guarantee you,
It's a height
not
difference as well.
not 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, he wins the header.
Well, I don't know. Stuart Finlay tall, is he?
Yeah, but he's a centre back and he's tall and he's strong in the air. I mean, and he times his jumps well. I mean,
Aye,
but
I
I
suppose.
thought they got a deserved equaliser based on. I think since Celtic made that mistake in the first half, I don't think they regained control. Then, to be fair to Celtic, out of nothing, the boy hits the bar, and
Aye,
he was unlucky with it. It was,
Chavanchara.
I
Mm-hmm.
think Chavchavchan uses his neck muscles really well, flicks it, and he's really unlucky. And
Mm-hmm.
Maeda again gets in his way. What's Maeda
Yeah,
doing?
I
Stand.
know.
Honestly, he is a clueless, brainless footballer. He doesn't have a clue where he is on the football park. Like he runs about like a
He's not
headless
always been like
chicken.
that, though. He's not always
I
been like
think
that.
I think everything last season was just a purple patch. I can't. I've never seen enough evidence of him to be. He's not a footballer. He's a fantastic runner. He works hard.
So it's
He tries his best.
the striker, the boy we've just got, Chavanchara.
Yeah,
He's a great. He's very fast,
but he looks already like he has 10 times the football brain that Dyson Maeda has.
and he done really well to get to the byline to cut it
That's
across
what I
for.
say. At the goal, yeah, I think his touch is really good on the halfway line. He does play it out to Maeda.
Hmm.
I'm not even sure if Maeda passes it back or it's
No, he
just a
does.
shite first touch. It could be
No,
either.
oh,
He was
he
that
got it back
bad.
to him.
He was that bad in the game. It could have been either. But he
He
does
still got it.
brilliant.
They did get it back to him.
He does brilliant because what he does is he realizes he's up against. Who's it centre? But it wasn't Finlay. It was the other centre back though, and he just knows he's got him for pace, and he's so direct. And fair play to Yang though, because I thought Yang had a pish game, but you need to be in the right position to
But
score goals.
for
And
having a pish game, he got a goal and he's been doing
I know
that quite regularly of late, scoring
exactly. I
goals.
mean,
So
I listened to some Celtic fans say that Negrin was one of the worst players in the park. He's your top goal scorer.
I know he is.
Goals don't necessarily tell you the whole story.
I don't think Maeda
Even
had
though
a
I
great
think
game.
Negrin's good, I thought Maeda was the worst player in the park.
And
Probably including the official.
Schmeichel bailed us out quite a few times
He
with
was,
his saves. He pulled off a lot of good saves.
so I think Celtic obviously 2-1 up, and then what I would say is that I think Celtic should be disappointed with is I don't think they didn't try to. A Celtic team of the past, right, goes 2-1 up and goes and gets a third, goes for the
That's right.
jugular,
That's what I thought when we got the second goal. I thought we'll go and get a third one now.
and
Didn't happen.
you didn't even you did, I don't even think he's mustered an attack before the red card, which we
No.
will talk about because I'll give my honest opinion, right, and this is I can only be honest, right.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it and I felt that's a red card, right, and when he got out the yellow card, I went, hmm. But what I think is whether it's a yellow card or a red card, I think is irrelevant, right? Because I do think it's debatable. Some will say it's a yellow because he's going away for goal and it's not a obvious goal scoring opportunity. Some will say it's a red because he's going to get onto the ball and he'll get a shot away from a difficult angle. But this is the bit that I don't agree with. VAR should not be intervening
No, the on-field decision should have
in
stood.
in any way, shape, or form. See if the referee had given a red card,
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with that decision. See if he gives a yellow card, I'm happy with that decision
Well, you know what I'm going to say.
because it is a very debatable one. Even you can agree that if that happens,
No, I
nine,
don't think it's debatable, Murray.
I think it's debatable because he definitely is going to get onto the ball. Scales is miles away, and
I
Dane
still,
Murray is close enough, but he's not close enough that he's going to stop him getting onto the ball and getting a shot away. Now it's a terrible angle, and there's no guarantee he score. This is the where I don't like the wording though, because it says an obvious goal scoring
goal scoring
opportunity.
opportunity.
Now it's not an
It
obvious goal
wasn't.
scoring
It wasn't.
opportunity,
If it was
right?
an obvious goal scoring opportunity, then it's a red card. It's not a goal
But
scoring opportunity, so it's not a red card.
how many last man type challenges are obvious goal scoring opportunities? Because you still need to run in on goal half the time.
I
You
still
still
think
need to
you've
beat
got
a goalkeeper.
you've got Scales there and you've got Murray there. The two of them are
Skills
covering.
is nowhere. Skills is
No, but
nowhere. He's
but Murray's
10
at
he's
least
10
Murray's at
yards
least
back.
covering that. Murray's at least covering it there. And as far as I'm concerned, the ball's
I
going away
think the
for goal,
only
so
debate
it's
is
not a goal scoring
he's going
opportunity.
wide.
It's not a red card.
As I said, I think I think it is, but I don't agree with the red card being given on the day because you cannot say that that's a clear and obvious error. It's a judgment call, which I think is a 50-50, and the referee you can't say got it wrong.
As soon as it got called to the monitor, I knew he was sending him
Oh,
off. I thought,
you knew
yeah, I
that,
knew that right
and
away.
obviously,
Everybody
let's
knew it.
be, but let's be honest, this big debate's been happening for ages because Celtic have won 86 games without a red card, and he's bitched and moaned the last time he's got a red card at Tynecastle. People have been putting that narrative out there that Celtic get favourable treatment, they don't get red cards, and look what happens.
I heard even
You,
Derek McInnes coming out and saying something about it as well.
well, aye, but I think that's an idea. I don't think there's a
But
need for it.
Celtic have appealed it and quite rightly, and it will get overturned because it was wrong.
I, I'm not sure it will though,
I think
because
it will.
I think the SFA.
Do you know what's going to happen?
If I know the SFA, they'll double down
They
because
might
they
double
did it.
down, right?
They've
But
done it in the past against Rangers ones where I felt that'll definitely get overturned, and then they
they
go,
should overturn it. I hope they do. But want to know what's going to happen in about a month's time? We'll go to this stupid show that Willie Collum has on
"No,
YouTube, and he'll
aye."
go,
And
"Well, we made a mistake," and you think you can't keep
I,
making these mistakes.
I don't know if he will. I think he'll back them.
No, I don't think so. I think he'll say
I
that
think
was
he
miss.
will. He backed up. He's backed up terrible decisions all season. All season, he's backed up obvious red cards. He's backed up obvious. I mean, even when, the other week when that one where Rangers got a disallowed goal against Aberdeen,
Mm.
everyone and their dog could see that that's not a foul, and Willie Collum backed it up and said, "Oh, but
Well, he's not the great. He
his,
wasn't the greatest referee either
do you
when
know
he
what
was
he
a
said?
referee.
He said at that one, oh, but his arm goes into the keeper, and you're like, yeah, but what if the keeper goes into his arm? Like, does that ever come into play?
In
And
the terms of the
but what I'm
Trusty
saying is,
thing, I think it was a coming together. It wasn't. He didn't
most of them are though. If you
intentionally
look at,
foul him.
I know, but if you look at the one that Giga gets sent off against Dundee early in the season, that's just a coming together. But he's going through on goal, and you have to accept it's a red
It
card.
depends on the angle. He was going
It's
away
very
for goal,
similar
but
that one.
he was going away for goal though.
No, I
He wasn't
agree. I
running.
agree
He
that
wasn't running straight toward goal.
that's the only debatable bit. I don't think the defenders are any saving grace because I think the boys too far away from them. I think the only debatable bit is he's going wide of goal, and that ball
So
was taken
it's not an
towards.
obvious goal scoring opportunity.
No, but but I don't know. I don't know where the
Derek
rules.
McInnes is going. He'll get a shot away, and I'm thinking, will
He
he?
would get a shot away. I think he would have got a shot away, but would he score?
No, but I still think Trusty's maybe even getting back as well. I think Trusty would get back if they don't come together. I still think
Yeah,
Trusty gets back to defend
but
it.
I know, and I think people forget about the player that fills the player when they think about could he get back. I think often that gets dismissed. Like if he doesn't make the fill, he is right behind him.
Of course, and I think he makes up the
But
ground and he does get back. So
they never discuss that. They always talk about the covering player.
I
But
don't know.
I don't know. I think
What a shite.
in general though, Celtic didn't play well enough to win the game. And I think
I thought
Martin O'Neill he needs to solve this away issue.
but I
Um,
still think if the red card doesn't happen, I think we grind out the result. We hang on for 2-1. There's a
Maybe because
possibility. There's a
that's
possibility
what
that
you
could
do
happen.
under Martin O'Neill.
Aye.
That's what you have done. The evidence is there, but
So that
I
red
think
card spoiled the game.
the evidence is still there that Hearts were dominating the game and
Oh, they were.
could have got another free kick, which they did, and
I
could have
think with the
scored for it,
11 men
which
on the
they did.
park, I think with the 11 men on the park, we've got a better chance of getting the victory than without it. And I think the red card
Absolutely a better
spoiled it.
chance. But I think that I don't think that anyone can debate that on the balance of the game, there wasn't much between the two sides, and there wasn't a
No,
lot of quality.
no, there wasn't.
But if we move on, obviously I'm going to sort of discuss the next 5 games
Mm-hmm.
for the 5 teams, right? So
Aye.
between us, we're not going to predict like scores, but just say
No,
how many points we think we'll get, right? So Hearts away to Dundee United, I think that'll be a draw.
right.
What do you
I
think?
think that's a possibility. Could be a draw.
Yeah.
Yep, they've got
Away to St
points
Mirren,
anyway in some form.
I think they'll win just because St
St.
Mirren
Mirren.
aren't playing well enough.
Mm-hmm.
Home to
Yep. So
Hibs, I could see that being a draw.
draw, or if Hibs buck their
Not,
eyes
I
ears
just
up, they
think
could.
because it's at Tynecastle, I think
Well,
it'll be a draw.
Tynecastle.
Uh,
Right.
so away to Ibrox, I think they'll lose, but that's obviously me. I'm a bit more biased in that one, but I do think they will, and I think they'll beat Falkirk at home. So
Well, I hope
out
not.
of
I'm
those
hoping that's a
five
draw
games,
at
of course
Ibrox.
you're hoping that, but out of those
Uh,
5 games, for me, I give them 3, 6, 7, 8 points. Right?
right. Right.
What do you give them then? So you give them a point at Ibrox. Are they beating Falkirk? That's 4.
Mm,
Easter Road.
where about is
Sorry,
it? Is it at Falkirk Stadium?
no, it's home to Falkirk.
Oh, they should beat
Right, so,
Falkirk if it's at Tynecastle.
so you're giving them a draw against Dundee United, a win at St Mirren, that's 4 points. A win against Falkirk,
Falkirk
that's 7.
and a
A
draw at
draw against
Rangers.
Rangers, and then Hibs.
Hibs a draw.
You going with? So you think they'll get 9 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Celtic's 5 games. Home to Falkirk, I think 3 points.
That's a 3-pointer for Celtic. Yeah.
Yep. Away to Aberdeen, I could see a point, but I could also see
I wouldn't
Celtic
be
grinding it
surprised if
out.
Celtic win the game because
Yep.
Aberdeen have
Home
they
to
been the
Livingston,
greatest against Celtic?
I think 3 points.
3
Away to
points.
Kilmarnock, 3 points.
Yep.
Home to Hibs, I could see a draw, but I
But
wouldn't
again, I wouldn't be
guarantee it.
surprised if Celtic won the game.
Yeah. So I think I could. I don't know that Celtic get 15 points, but I think they'll get 13. I think there'll be a draw in there, whether that's at Aberdeen or at home to Hibs. That's just my opinion. I think but you going with 15,
Aye.
right?
Have
Rangers
to.
games. It's Rangers are. I think Rangers have the toughest of the fixtures.
Right.
Away to Hibs, I think they'll win just because Hibs will Hibs it. They just do.
Right.
Home to Kilmarnock, I think Rangers will win. Away to Motherwell will be a draw. I can't see Rangers winning at Motherwell the way they're playing.
Right.
Home to Hearts, I think Rangers will win just because I could see that one. You said it'll be a draw because you said it from the other one, and I think away to Livingston will win. So I think with Rangers, I'm going 6, 9, 2. I'm going 13 points. I think you're going 2 draws against Motherwell and Hearts and 3 wins. So that's 11 points. So if you look at that and that happens, your table, you would have Celtic on 60.
Celtic will overtake
You would
Rangers then.
have Hearts on 60 and Rangers on 59.
Fuck.
With my table, you would have Hearts on 59, Celtic on 58, and Rangers on 60. I mean, either way, right, at the end of that, we could be very, very tight. And that would be with 10 games to go.
God.
And the next game after that just happens to be a wee small matter of a wee game at Ibrox.
I know. Got the heart, can't take any more.
But yeah, I think it's going to be an interest. Honestly, I think if Rangers are in touching distance after these 5 games, I'm very confident that we can win the league. because I think our next
don't.
5 games are
Unless
quite
we,
favourable.
unless we buy players in this
Yeah.
last week, then
But if we go,
for me the league's finished.
what we'll do is we'll quickly just do the 2 Euro ties, and then we'll talk on transfers, because I think that's a bigger talking point. The European games, Rangers, I think, will lose 2-0 in Porto, because I don't
Right.
think we'll put out a good team. I think we'll be concentrating more on Hibs. And I think Celtic will grind out a win 2-1.
I think Celtic will probably win about 2-1 as well. And do you think Rangers will get beat? I think Rangers might get beat. They might get beat. Is that away? It's away, isn't it? Aye,
Away to
obviously
Porto, yeah.
it's away, aye.
I think if it was Ibrox, I could maybe see Rangers keeping the momentum and getting a draw.
Mm.
But I think away from home, I'm not even sure we'll take our best players.
If it's the final game and you've got nothing to play for, then I don't see why
Exactly.
you
You
would
need to
risk your better
concentrate on
players. Aye.
Hibs. Hibs is the big
Hmm.
game this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's talk about transfers. So, right, I think Hearts are done. I think they've replaced their 2 players who got injured, right?
Hmm.
I don't think they'll do any more business. Celtic, I think Celtic need another striker,
I would,
a right
yep,
winger,
a right
a
winger and a
centre mid,
centre
and a
half.
centre back. I think they need a centre mid, but I don't think they'll get it. But
Nah, I don't think we'll get any. I don't think we'll sign any
because
more players.
I think that centre mid, Celtic have lost so many battles in there recently,
Hmm.
that I feel you
Yeah.
need like a real battling midfielder, somebody.
You're needing a lot of general in there.
Because he's just like miles off it in the middle area. I mean,
A ball winning midfielder.
yeah, and I think Rangers obviously need a striker and
Mm.
potentially another centre mid, but mainly the striker. But it looks like Danilo is going to Paphos in Cyprus
On
for
loan.
2 million. No,
All right,
two
you're
million,
selling him, right?
which I think makes sense. I know it's a big loss, right? We spent what 5 million on him,
Hmm.
and we're losing 3 million, and we've certainly not got that back in goals.
Right.
But he's got big wages, and I think they can be better used elsewhere, if I'm honest.
Fair
And I like
enough.
the boy. I do. I think he's. I'd love to have seen him without those injuries. I mean, the facial injury can happen, right? Everyone can break their cheekbone. The knee injury he got at Tynecastle was just a terrible tackle on him. And
Mm.
it's a shame, because I don't think he's ever recovered. And I watch him like 50-50 shit out of challenges now. And that's a shame, because he's scared to get hurt. But Rangers can't have passengers.
No.
And you'd be saying the same thing
No.
if he was a
Of
Celtic player.
course. Of course.
It's a shame, because there's a talented boy in there, but I'd still say he's probably our most natural finisher.
Mm.
But it's done, and it looks like we're going to replace him with a German third division striker.
All right.
I'm not
Well.
going to judge a book on its cover, right? Because sometimes you find hidden gems, and
Hmm.
hopefully Danny Rule knows this guy's 22 years old, and he looks like he's a 6'4", pacey, but quite similar kind of stature to your new signing, the Czech boy.
Right. Right.
Very like big, strong, fast. So we'll see. When I watched his YouTube pilots, which by the way, don't tell your whole story, we know that.
No, they never do.
I, I got kind of Kyle Lafferty vibes, like that kind of like runs into weird kind of channels, gets himself in more trouble, but there is a player in there. You could
Hmm.
see there was something. So I think Rangers will do business. You don't think Celtic will do any business? I
Well,
think they'll.
what I hope they do. They
Oh,
can't no do it. They have to do
yeah.
something. But what I'm worried about is if we lose players and we don't replace them, because that's what Celtic are famous for.
Well, who would you lose? Who's up? I
Well,
mean,
I would hope
Hattati
not.
seems to.
Don't want to be losing anybody, if I'm honest.
Would you sell Hattati and Maeda if good bids come in, and you could
No,
definitely replace them?
if there was a definite replacement there, possibly. But when does Celtic ever do that? We don't.
You know.
Not
Do
done
you
it in
think you'll get?
the
Do you
past.
think you'll get Masmanishi? I could see that happening in
I hope
deadline
so.
day.
I hope so. Yeah, I'm
I hope
praying
you
for that.
don't, because he's better than what you've got.
I'm praying that we get him because he is a good player, and I think he would make a massive difference to that Celtic
I get
attack.
I get Novo vibes off him. I think he'll be a hit. Like, see when Nacho Novo signed for us and he was linked with Hughes, it's quite
Hmm.
similar. And I just remember thinking, I don't want him to go there, because
Mm.
I could see that I don't think he's a brilliant footballer. And by the way, Nacho Novo wasn't a brilliant footballer, but there was
He scored
something.
goals. He scored
Do
goals.
you know what I mean? There was something about him that you knew
Mm.
he would do all right in a better team.
Hmm.
So I think Celtic need 4 to
I
be
think they do as
competitive.
well. I think, but whether they get the four, There's another story.
I think Rangers need 2. I know you could argue Rangers maybe could do another centre back, but Cornelius, Suter, and Sterling will be back in the next week or so, so that should cover that. But it'll be interesting, and obviously we'll do another pod on Friday where we can chat through the next weekend's fixtures. Big games, obviously. Yous have got Falkirk on the Sunday. We've got Hibs, so that's going to be another nail biter.
Bloody right.
And then obviously deadline day Monday. We'll put the pod
Wait
back
till Tuesday.
Makes sense, because I don't want to come on here at 8 o'clock and do a pod and then
we'll sign somebody late on.
8 and 11.
But it'll never happen. But it doesn't happen. Celtic and Rangers don't sign players late on deadline day, do they? Normally.
Rangers do.
Celtic have done it
we
a
did
couple of times, maybe.
quite late. Was it a year ago? We did Bajrami at like 11 o'clock at night.
Suppose did we know Luke McCowan and Arnie Engels quite late in the window as well?
Yeah. So we'll see what comes. But I think Celtic board should be looking at that table right now and going, use a third.
They need to.
Use
be getting players in. We need players.
Honestly, I couldn't pick a winner right now. I think Celtic have the favourable fixtures over the next 5 games. I think we could have seen that. But
I hope you're right.
But I then think the next 5 games, we've got more favourable fixtures. Apart from obviously Celtic at home will take care of itself. But
so we need to pick up maximum points for these these 5 games. We have to.
Do, because Hearts have got 5 easy fixtures going into the split. And I think, as I said, I think if Rangers are within a point of the top going into the split, I'll be confident. Because even though we need to go to Tynecastle and Celtic Park, that doesn't worry me. Because, as long as I look at your squad,
I'm worried obviously with the squad we've got. Unless we improve it, then I'm extremely worried.
Exactly. If you go into the split with the squad you've got today, I'm confident that
no chance. We've got no chance.
But, we'll reconvene on Friday and we'll see where we're at. All right.
Yep.
Right. Have a good one.
You too, mate. Thanks again. Bye bye.